Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. Here is your host, Andy Ruther.
Welcome back to another episode of the Andy Ruther Show. That is me, your one and only host, Andy Ruther. How we feeling today? I'm feeling good. How are you feeling? Because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good because I got a road trip starting tomorrow. Gonna meet up with the college buddies tomorrow. So excited about that. This has been in the works for quite some time. There's 6 of us. We're getting a lake house at Lake of the Ozarks, taking us back to our roots. So it's about 3 hours from St. Louis. And this is where my fraternity always went for our spring formal. We always went to Lake of the Ozarks. So we decided we're going to meet. A bunch of us are going to be in St. Louis tomorrow night, get up early Friday, drive to the lake, have Friday and Saturday, and then head back Sunday. It's kind of a short trip, but I'm stoked to be with the crew, my college buddies, which is always great because we just go down memory lane, right? Reminiscing on all the debauchery, all the stupid things we did. And it's just great because when you have a group of friends that are close, like I have with my college buddies, it doesn't matter if I haven't seen some of these guys for 3, 4, 5 years. When we all get together, it's like you don't miss a beat. It's like you're right back to being 22 years old, living together on campus. So I'm excited about that. And we're going to stay in a nice place, unlike what my fraternity used to do. So we used to get kicked out. Every year we had to find a new place because we'd be banned because we would just destroy it. And I was probably one of the main reasons for that. I was wild. I was out of control. I just love to break stuff. I love to destroy stuff, especially when I was drunk. So we'd always have to pick a new place. And we stayed in some seedy places because no places would take us. There's a lot of video out there. I mean, a lot of video out there of me that people have that would get me definitely canceled, lose my job. Thank God I was pre-iPhone. I know I've said this a million times, but I got to say it again. Just thank God. I feel like we were the last generation to enjoy that, right? We graduated college 2004, 2005. The iPhone comes out 2007. Everything's on it. You can make an argument. In fact, I'm willing to do it right now. You could make an argument. Life was better pre-iPhone. Life was better pre-smartphone. Now, it goes both ways. You have access to anything you need, whether it's news, information, the ability to contact somebody, the ability to video with somebody. That's all great. But it's a double-edged sword because then anybody can access you. Work can always reach out to you. There's never an excuse, oh, I didn't get that email. I didn't see it. All this stuff I'm talking about, all the drunken shenanigans, it's all on somebody's camcorder, video cassette somewhere. I know some dudes. One of my buddies who's going to be on this trip, he's got a lot of funny footage. I hope he brings it. But now when you have an iPhone, man, you can't be doing that. Or people could put you on blast. They call it what? Revenge porn? You could revenge, get somebody back, man. But I missed that window by just a few years. Even just a few years worse. I'm so old that a lot of people had the disposable cameras. You know, those little disposable Kodak cameras? They would bring those to fraternity events, trips, studying abroad. That's literally what I had when I studied abroad in Spain. I had disposable cameras. And it's so funny looking back on it. I barely took any photos, which is definitely a regret of mine. I lived abroad for 4 months. It was 17 weeks, traveled about 8 of them. So half the time I'm traveling, not many photos. I have like 30 photos. Like 30 photos. Going to all these different countries, all these different cities. So that's kind of a regret because I was hammered all the time. And I wish I had more memories. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But I'm excited. We got a baller pad. We got a really nice pad. But I wanted to bring up something about the pad because I was looking at it. My buddy got a really nice setup for us. I believe we're staying in a VRBO. So it's not Airbnb, it's a VRBO. But my complaint that I want to air out to you guys, let me try to pull up the text message. I think it's somewhere around here. Is what they expect you to do when you leave these places. Drives me crazy. Like the expectation when you stay at an Airbnb, when you stay at a VRBO, I'm already paying a cleaning fee. I'm already paying it. Why do I have to be a housekeeper at the end? Why? And why do we accept this? We all just accept this? Hey, we paid you $500, $600, whatever it's going to be. It's a 6-bedroom, 6-bath house with a pool. It's real nice. It's right on the lake. So it's going to be expensive. But then we have to clean up. Listen to this checkout. Listen to this 9 bullet point itinerary for checkout. Number 1, please start the washing machine with a load of towels. We suggest doing this the night before if you have multiple loads of towels. What? No. What? I'm doing laundry now? So we're paying thousands of dollars to stay in this house, and now I'm doing laundry. No, I'm good. No thanks. You may leave the beds unmade. Point 2. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, venture capitalist company or whoever owns this. Nobody owns it. It's like a $2.5 million house. Definitely a company owns this. Thank you for letting me leave the beds unmade. That's very kind of you. Bullet point 3, load and start the dishwasher before you leave. We can unload it. Oh, so now I'm doing dishes. So first I'm doing laundry. Now I'm doing dishes. I might as well be in Cincinnati. I might as well be in my home in the reserve of Turpin. I might as well be here with Brittany and with Isla because that's the stuff I do, the laundry and the dishes. I might as well be home. You want me to do laundry and the dishes before I leave? Bullet point 4, collect all the trash and place it in the trash bin on the street. Now I'm doing garbage collection. Add that to my list. Can I put this on my resume? Can I update my LinkedIn? Bullet point 5, leave the house in order you found it. Wipe off the counters. I'm literally a maid. That's what my buddies and I are going to be. Replace all the extra entertainment amenities in order like you found them. Bullet point 6, close all the windows, sliders, doors, and lock the door when leaving. Bullet point 7, be sure to leave the garage door opener and the lodge of the Four Seasons Pass on the kitchen counter. And then bullet point 8, we encourage you to write in our guest book what you enjoyed during your stay and leave any tips. Well, I'm doing this tip right now. I'm giving you a tip. I don't want to be a maid. I don't want to be a garbage man. I don't want to be a housekeeper. We're staying for 2 nights. You want me to do all that stuff for staying for 2 nights? I don't think I'm out of line here. I don't. I'm paying for a cleaning service. My 5 other buddies are paying for a cleaning service. And then you still want us to clean. That's not how it works. It makes no sense at all. It's like I pay to go to a car wash. I pay them to wash my car. And then I come home and then I wash it myself. That's exactly what this is. And I was complaining to my buddies about it. They were just laughing over text. But I'm serious. This is absurd. I find this completely and utterly absurd that I have to do all this, that my friends have to do all this, especially when most of the guys are going to be hungover. You want us to do laundry the night before with the towels from the pool? You want us to do laundry when everybody's going to be drinking, everybody's going to be smoking weed. You want everybody to do laundry when everybody's feeling good. And we're going to be at the bars probably. I'm sure my buddies want to rage at the bars. But no, you want us to be home doing laundry. Guys, when are we going to stop accepting this as a society? I'm putting it out right now. When are we going to stop accepting them to put these disclaimers? When are we going to stop accepting airlines charging us to upgrade our seat, to pack a bag, a luggage fee? When are we going to stop accepting this? For all the things we want to riot and protest and all those things, when are we going to just get in some sort of unison and riot and protest things we can all agree on? We all can agree on this, right? I don't care your political leaning. I don't care who you vote for. We can all agree these things need to be changed. We all need to stop just accepting that airlines are going to charge us and nickel and dime every little thing, especially after they get bailed out every damn time by the government after 9/11, after COVID, right? My point is, why are we accepting this? It's fascinating to me that we just all accept it. I did see Southwest Airlines is going to change their empty or open seat policy. I did see that. I don't know if you guys saw that. They're going to change that, which is interesting. Is the next move that Southwest is going to start charging you for your bags? Say what you want about Southwest. They never charge for bags. They never charge for changing your flight. Like they've been ahead of the curve. Now, I know the whole cattle call when you go for your flight and it's kind of a shit show. I get all that. But personally, I'll take Southwest over all the other ones because I don't have money. I'm not flying first class. I'm not flying business class. So those other ones don't really pertain to me. I like how Southwest does it. It's very basic. It's very simple. It's economical. I like how they have it. And just like that Airbnb or that VRBO that I'm staying at, that I'm sure is owned by some company, just like that, Southwest now has a huge VC money. They have all these investors who have large equity in them. So they're going to start making changes. They want to make more money. I know they were losing money. So now they want to start making more money. Or they weren't meeting last quarter or what did I read here before I say the wrong thing? I was reading this article the other day. It's titled Southwest Airlines is ditching open seating on flights. The carrier is under pressure to boost profits, plans big changes for boarding flights and flyers who want premium seating. So there you go, guys. Something they've been doing for 50 years has now been tossed out the window. Last week, their second quarter profit of $367 million was a 46% drop off from the same time a year earlier. And the Elliott Investment Management, a hedge fund group, has a $1.9 billion stake now in Southwest. So there you go. These guys want their money. They want to get paid. They don't like where the direction of the company is. So add Southwest to your list. But that's my point, to go back to what I was bitching about earlier. We all just accept this. Why can't we just have a giant rally? Why can't we have just a giant protest? We're not paying for luggage. You're not paying me to have 6 more inches of leg room. Like, I'm out on the airline industry. I've been out. I know you have to fly, But literally, if I can drive it, I'll just drive it. I'm driving to St. Louis. It's about a 5.5 hour drive. Then we're driving to the Ozarks. I can't even fly directly. That's how insane it is. That's how crappy the airline industry. That's how crappy the Cincinnati airport is. There is no direct flights from Cincinnati, Ohio to St. Louis, Missouri. It's like 350, 375 miles away. There's no direct flights. So it's not even worth my time to fly from Cincinnati to St. Louis because I have to go through Baltimore or I have to go through Chicago. Look at me. I was in a great mood. I was all geeked about my trip. Now I'm just veering off into ranting about the airline industry and being a maid at my VRBO. It is pretty ridiculous though. I mean, right? I think you guys agree with me. I would love somebody to chime in on this. I mean, am I out of line here? 859-935-0078. That's the hotline. Chime in here. Am I out of line? If I'm paying a cleaning fee, why do I have to clean? The whole point of the fee is that I don't have to clean. I don't know. We do have some calls today, though. We got a couple good calls that I would like to get to. We got a lot. We'll see what I can get to today. We got a lot of things in my mind that I would like to get to. And you know what? We'll just get to some calls. We'll do that right now. Again, the hotline is 859-935-0078. And we have a couple calls I'd like to get to. First one is long, but I'm going to play it. It's a 2.5 minutes, I think. So Liam left this call, and he's got a lot of questions for me. And I think this would be a good topic, good topics, I should say, to address. So this is the first call we have here from Liam, I believe from Denver.
Hello, Andy. This is Liam calling in from Colorado. Love the show, man. It's awesome. I'll get to this might be a long question, so I'll get to the chase. I just started wanting to hear your outlook on, your relationship with sobriety and alcohol in general. I'm 25, so I'm still in that sort of immediate post-college age range, if you will. In college, I partied hard. I did the whole frat thing, and all my friends were and still are pretty heavy drinkers, including myself. And, as the years go on and college is slowly getting further and further away, I'm realizing that my drinking habits aren't really cute and cool anymore. And, the binging is just taking tolls on my body. And, yeah, it's just not like funny anymore or anything. I'm progressively binging harder and harder. And I'm progressively also doing dumber and dumber things. Not really doing dumb things, but saying dumb things, texting dumb things to people, which I'd never do. I always used to be kind of in control of my drinking. And, knock on wood, I haven't had that moment like you had yet with your brain injury. And, I also recently learned that not everyone is like me, where, once I start, I just can't really stop. And, like I already said, my binging's kind of getting worse and worse. I never have been, I probably never will be like the one beer guy by the pool or whatever. It's always got to be 0 or 100 for me. And so basically I was just wondering, when you first quit drinking, man, I know it's because of your brain injury, but did you ever think about your habits, or did you ever kind of think you had a problem leading up to the brain injury, or was that like a sudden realization for you? Because I kind of want to do something about it before I get to a point where I have something terrible like that happen to me, because I think with alcohol eventually something happens. So I wanted to just hear you speak on your sobriety as well, because I think sobriety seems kind of scary to me, even though I think if I stay in the past, something bad might happen. Sobriety seems kind of scary, like, the thought of a baseball game without a beer or wedding without a cocktail seems daunting, especially talking to girls, because I just can't do it without some liquid courage, if you will. So, it just got to be a binge every time. So I just wanted to hear you speak on sobriety, what you did to start, if you thought you had a problem, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sorry, I know it's a long call, but I just think you're a great guy to speak on this. All right, thanks, man.
Well, Thank you for that, Liam. You're already starting somewhere. First of all, the fact that you called, left a pretty detailed message means you're already aware that you might have an issue with drinking. So you're already starting somewhere. So kudos to you for that would be my first thing. That you're fully cognizant of your binge personality, your binge drinking. So it's not easy, man. So like I appreciate that. So you should give yourself some love for that, first of all, that you are aware of it and you don't want to go down a path. And I think, you asked a lot of different questions in there, and I'm more than happy to address them. Personally, I have a very binge personality, and it sounds like you have the same. So it took me a while to learn that my personality is not just binging with alcohol. It's binging with everything. And the truth was, I never really thought about that until we had an addiction expert on my old radio show. So we had a guest. She was an addiction expert, and she came on Lance Bass's radio show that I used to work on, Dirty Pop with Lance Bass, which used to be on Sirius XM. And, I was a producer, writer, and I was also on air. So I was pretty involved with the show. We were 5 days a week, and we had her come on, and basically on live radio, she kind of broke down my history and what I was doing. And she asked me something that I never thought of. And she said, okay, you're not drinking anymore. At that point, I was about a year, maybe 15 months sober. She said, after a long week of work, what do you do now? And the light bulb went off. In the past, it might have been a giant bender on a Friday night or a Friday and Saturday night. But after I got sober, I was going on food benders where I would just come home, and we have so many great options where I lived in Venice Beach. I might go to the local Mexican place and just absolutely annihilate burritos and tacos and nachos and just overdo it and just gorge out, right? And that's when I first realized, oh, I for sure have a binge issue. Now I kind of knew it. And again, that goes in various areas of my life. And it sounds like you might have a binge issue too, where it's tough to go for 1 or 2 beers. You got to go 0 to 100. And that's how I've always been. Binge on alcohol. I've had issues where I'll binge on sex, and that was a problem too. Binge on running. Now that's a positive thing. I would go through spurts probably more recently when I got into running where I had to run every single day. And then it turned into a thing. It's like, how many days in a row can I run at least 5 miles? Now that's positive, right? That's much more positive than I want to have 1,000,000 beers till 6 a.m. or how many girls can I sleep with in the next month? That's really not going to be fulfilling. So it sounds like you're kind of battling with that. And the sobriety thing isn't easy for a lot of people. You're talking about going to a ball game or going to a wedding. I get it. But you'll adjust, man. And you'll feel better. I'm to the stage now, it's a little different, right? I'll be 43 in November. I like being sober. I like that I don't have to wake up with a hangover. You know what's crazy? That you left this call and I went through and I looked, and I never knew this. I just perused through some of my old journals. And I found entries that show how much I was partying. Like this is one from Spain. This is from September 10th, 2002. I say, surprisingly, I'm sober to actually write in this damn thing. Madrid is an interesting experience. Classes will keep me busy, especially with the wild nightlife. This is only my third night sober since I arrived in Spain. And at that point, I had been in Spain for 2+ weeks. So do the math. I've been drunk every single night but 3 for 2+ weeks. But I have all these entries going back to, dude, here's one from May 2nd, 2004. This is 20 years ago. I just wrote this. What the fuck was I thinking? I can be the biggest idiot sometimes. I cannot repeat these stupid ass actions. The liquid fries my brain, I'm referring to alcohol. Night after night of binging. How much more can I take? I could seriously be the biggest fucking dumbass. I need someone to show me the way. Please help me. Dude, I'm in college. This is my senior year. And I can actually tell you, I know, just looking at this, May 2nd, 2004, I can tell you what happened. I was seeing a girl. It wasn't serious. I was seeing a girl. She was a freshman. I was a senior. We've been dating for, I don't know, 6 or 7 months at this point. And I went to another sorority's party. They had rented out a bar in, I believe, Soulard, which is an area of St. Louis. And on the way home, I was sitting in a seat. They had like a charter bus to take the girls around. I think they were doing a pub crawl or something. But regardless, some girl sits in my lap, not my girlfriend. We start making out. And I guess all the girls on the bus were like, hey, yo, what are you doing, Ruther? Like, you have a girlfriend. And then I woke up the next day in my apartment in St. Louis. I know exactly where this is from. This is why I'm so hard on myself, and I should be. I woke up the next day in St. Louis in my apartment, and one of my fraternity buddies called me, and he goes, hey, man, are you missing something? And I go, what are you talking about? Like, no memory. What are you talking about? He goes, dude, are you missing your underwear? I go, what do you mean? He goes, you hooked up with so-and-so last night, and then you left your underwear at her house. I said, what? He goes, yeah, man. You were on the bus making out, and then you went back to her apartment, and you hooked up. And good luck with your girlfriend not finding out. Now, at the time, again, cell phones and all that, iPhone isn't a thing, which helped. And I don't know if she ever found out. But my point is, that's why I'm writing in this book. That's why I'm writing that. Because I know I had been binge drinking. So I needed an event. I had so many things that were in front of me, right? I blacked out and ran over a fire hydrant with my dad's car. I would pass out at different places, not remember, wake up next to a girl, not remember this story, be back in my own apartment, not remember. Dude, I used to literally fall asleep on the subway in Spain. One time, I don't even know what train I ended up taking, and I found myself wide awake in the countryside, not even in the city where I lived in Madrid. I don't even know how I got there. I've woken up on sidewalks in the hood of St. Louis. I'm talking total hood, woken up on a sidewalk in the morning, not knowing how I got there. The fact that I'm alive is a blessing in itself. I mean, I have all this evidence if I go through here. Dude, here's one that's not even drinking. This is from 2018, so this is recent. This is what I wrote April 29th, 2018. Why do I do this? I don't feel good after a week of meaningless sex. I know I feel worthless and empty inside, but I still keep doing it. Why? Is it my release from day-to-day life? I know deep down I want something deeper, something more meaningful, but I also don't want to force a relationship, so I feel trapped. So, I mean, it's no different than the alcohol. I'm talking 6 years ago about just a meaningless week of hookups. So that is kind of in the DNA for people, certain people, the binging. And it's for sure been mine. And it's been a problem too, because I thrive off how other people react. Like the wild party Andy Ruther was always fun to be around. But I've learned I'm the same weird, wacky, fun person when I'm sober. And that's what you got to learn, Liam. You're the same person at your core. Take, for example, this weekend. All my friends are going to be partying. There's 6 of us. I'll be the only sober one there. Now, that's with alcohol. You do have marijuana. So that could maybe be another alternative, in my opinion, much, much safer. I would argue that a million times. It's much, much, much safer if you do it in a right amount of, the right dosage. So I'll be the only one sober. We're going to be bar hopping all weekend. My friends are going to just want to let loose. But I'm going to be the same person. And there are advantages to being sober. You can see what's happening. I love people watching now sober. I love it. Because when you're drunk, you don't know what's going on because all your inhibitions are lowered and everything is blurry and you don't have a good head on your shoulders. But like this weekend at Lake of the Ozarks, it's a giant party. It's a giant party. It's like Lake Tahoe, but for the Midwest. You have people with money. You have white trash. You have white trash people with money. So it'll be a great people watching scene. You'll feel better about yourself if you know you have a binge issue. So I'll tell you something, and people think I'm full of shit when I say this because I have a very low tolerance. I've easily in my life from alcohol blacked out thousands of times. Like that's how bad it was. Every time I drank, mostly in high school, in college, post college, I was drinking till I blacked out. And then I would go abstinent. That's another thing. There would be times I didn't drink for 6 months. I didn't drink for 3 months. I would purposely abstain from sex for 3 months, 6 months. And then I'd end that with a bender. None of it ever made sense. I specifically remember I ended a 100-day sobriety. I go, I'm going to be sober for the next 100 days. I just want to focus on my work, focus on what I'm doing in Los Angeles. And I ended a 100-day sobriety with a weekend in Las Vegas. How do you think that went? I went absolutely apeshit. I was sober for 100 days, ended it with 3 nights with my college buddies in Vegas, partying, hooking up, just making reckless decisions. But you'll figure it out. You got to have faith in that, man. I figured it out later. I had my brain injury in April 2014. So I was about 32 and a half when it happened. And like I said, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. My advice would be try sobriety, see how you feel. If you feel awkward at a bar, if you feel awkward at a wedding, whatever it is, have a drink that looks like alcohol. Because a lot of that is projection that you're insecure, that people might not know you're drinking. So just have a soda instead of a vodka soda. Have tonic water with a lime instead of a vodka tonic. I don't know. That's my advice. Hopefully I answered your question. But I couldn't feel better since I've been sober. And the truth is, the moments where I want alcohol are extremely fleeting. They're extremely fleeting. Every once in a while, I'll be like, man, it'd be really nice to have like a pina colada here at this pool. Or, man, a Jack and Coke sounds nice. But those moments are fleeting because what happens is once you're sober, then your ego, at least mine does, your ego kicks in and you almost get off on how long you've been sober, if that makes any sense. Like there's a thing, especially if you have a binge personality, which I have, and it sounds like you have. So now the binge is how long can I stay without alcohol? So then that turns into a thing where I look at myself and go, wow, I've been sober for over 10 years. And it's almost like a badge of honor, and you're proud of yourself. And the game you play inside your head is, how long can I go being sober? And then each month passes and each year passes. And then you get to my point where you're like, wow, I haven't even thought about it, and I've been sober for a decade. But you should feel good that you already are aware. That's a huge step, man. It's a huge step. Appreciate the call, Liam. All right, so we have another call here. I forget who this is from, but let's let this one rip.
Hey, Ruther, what's up, my man? It's KT. Got a quick question for you, and I think your show is perfect for this. So, I'm a best man at a wedding coming up in November, and never did any public speaking for some reason. That's one of the things I don't really like doing. But I'm having an issue putting my speech together, and I just have I'd love some advice from you because my friend group, all we do is roast each other. That's our friendship, and I just want to see how far should I go on roast when I put this together? My friend who I'm the best man at, he's bald. Should I do some bald roast? I think I have to. And also, I just can't do my speech. Is any advice for just actually doing it other than stop being a bitch and stop procrastinating? Any advice you got, my man, would be greatly appreciated. I just want to say I love the show and keep doing you, man. And Ruther, what's up, my man?
Thank you for the call, KT. Appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Thanks to all you guys who listen. Thanks to everybody. I appreciate it. You guys have been very, very supportive, and it's been very, very touching, to be honest. Received so many nice messages and nice DMs. So you got a best man speech, KT. So I've only done one, actually, best man speech. Here's the first thing of advice I'll give you. Don't make it too long. Is there anything worse than a speech from the maid of honor or the best man that just drags and goes on and on and on? There's nothing worse. So the key is make that shit concise. That's the first thing. The second thing is I would say definitely include the ball busting. I get that. That's how my friends and I are. There's going to be nothing but ball busting this weekend when we're hanging out at the pool, hanging out at the lake. But don't make everything so inside that outsiders don't get it. Right? So if you have an inside joke, try to make it relatable that people who don't know your core group of friends. Now, if your buddy's bald and you want to make a bald joke, obviously everybody can see that he's bald. That's my point. That's actually a great example. If you want to make some jokes about him losing his hair, go ahead, because everybody can see that. I definitely think you get moving. That you'll feel better once you just start writing down ideas. But also keep it real, man. I don't think there's any problem with just being honest. You guys obviously have a close relationship. Excuse me. He wouldn't have chosen you for his best man if you didn't. So be real. I think the key to any speech like that is humor, but also just being real and authentic. Right? Like when I gave a speech for my buddy's wedding, which was about 5 years ago, I had humor, but I also delved into our friendship and what he's meant to me and how he's like a brother for me and everything he's done for me, how he's always been there and just a great, great buddy. So don't hesitate to include that stuff. And another thing, have notes. And obviously I came from a different background where I didn't need to read off a script. It's really impressive when people don't read off a script. They can have it prepared, maybe improvise some. Those are all advice. But I'll tell you what, and I know I'm stereotyping here, but in my opinion, the women go on too long. I don't know if I've ever seen a maid of honor speech where I'm like, that was great. And maybe I'm being biased because I'm a dude. But they pull out this pamphlet. It looks like the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's this big ass pamphlet. And they just go on and on and on. And I'm always like, get to the point. And make sure you talk about his wife. Right? I don't know how you feel about her. Hopefully you like her. But he obviously cares for this person. He wants to spend the rest of his life with this person. So talk about that and how important she is and try to weave that in. That way you're bringing everybody in. When I did the 2 eulogies for my parents, I kind of had the same approach. I wanted to be funny, but I also wanted to be authentic. And I wanted to be real with my feelings and how I felt and not hold back. So at times I made jokes, at times I made comments and said things that were definitely going to make me and other people cry. And I'm not saying you want to do that here with a best man speech because it's not the same as giving a eulogy. But the key is trying to find all that mix. But the number one thing I'll say, just don't make it too long, man. This is not about you. You got to remember that. It's about your buddy. It's about his wife. This is their night. It's not about your speech. And you might miss, dude. I missed in my buddies. I had little notes. And then I pulled one out. And then I started, at one point, I said, asparagus, bread, potato chips, bananas. Oh, sorry. That's my Trader Joe's grocery shopping list. And no one laughed. Like no one laughed. I was just reading off random things from a grocery store. And that's fine. Now I'm used to it because I've told so many jokes where nobody's laughed at. So it's a little different. But dude, you'll be great, man. You'll be great. Just practice, be prepared, and you'll totally be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Appreciate the calls, though, guys. 859-935-0078. Get those reviews in. I think we're at 100. I think I'm going to have to give somebody $100 here in the next week. But if you haven't left a review, you'll be thrown in the mix. So leave a review/rating on Apple. Leave a rating on Spotify. And I'm going to do a random thing. I've already found there's websites where you can pick. So I'll put everybody's screen names or profiles, and we'll pick a winner. Somebody's going to win $100. So thank you to everybody who's left those. So go ahead and do that if you haven't, and then you qualify to win $100 from me. I do want to do a quick bit before we get out of here on the local news, because I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by the local news because I want to know who's watching this. And I know it's old people. But I still am so intrigued by local news. I'm intrigued from this angle. Will it exist in 25 years? Right? 25 years, I'm in my late 60s. Nobody my age currently watches the news. So why would I watch the local news when I'm in my 60s? So out of curiosity, this is what I did this week. On my YouTube TV, I hit the 4 local news stations in Cincinnati: Fox, CBS, ABC, NBC, right? The national channels, but with their local affiliates here in Cincinnati. And I wanted to know, what are they talking about on the local news? What's going on in the local news in greater Cincinnati? What are the hard-hitting stories that Beverly and Bob are watching, right? The early 70s married couple, what are they watching on the local news? So this is what they're watching. This made me laugh because I'm like, this is what people are watching. This is what's going on in the local news. This is Channel 5 here in Cincinnati. What is it? WLW? WLWT? This is what's going on in the local news. This is a hard-hitting story that came out of Cincinnati 2 nights ago.
On WLWT tonight, the case against a Laughlin man facing charges for alerting drivers to potholes in his neighborhood by spray painting circles around them is now headed to a jury trial.
This is some story here and a new.
This is some story there, Bob, or whatever the hell your name is. So here's the story, guys. A local man is alerting people that there are potholes, and he's spray painting around them to alert them. By the way, good move. Good on him. There's potholes everywhere here, right? In a city that has both the extreme humid heat from the summer and then obviously the cold from the winter, you're going to get potholes. And a pothole will wreck. It will wreck a tire. So homeboy who lives in Laughlin, like a suburb of Cincinnati, is alerting everybody. But they're charging him with a crime? But WLWT Channel 5 is on it. Let's find out what's going on.
New development in a story we first brought you back in June.
Whoa. Sorry to pause again. We got a follow-up story. This is how bad the local news is. I hate to throw you guys under the bus, but I'm throwing you under the bus. And maybe that bus is going to run over you on a pothole-filled street. You first covered this story in June. And you're coming back to it in July. That's how little content you have.
WT News 5's Lindsay Stone live for us in Laughlin. And Lindsay, do we know why the case is moving to a Hamilton County courtroom?
So Lindsay is like, yo, this is what I went to school for. This is why my mom and dad put me through a 4-year private college education to go on local Channel 5 to talk about dudes spray painting around potholes. Oh, man, I feel bad for Lindsay.
So right now, it's not really clear exactly why that was changed. We do know the attorney representing Gregory Stroll said she received that notice. She said her client still facing a 4th-degree misdemeanor, which, by the way, carries a possible penalty of jail time, all for spray painting potholes to alert drivers.
There are a lot of very large destructive potholes in the city of Laughlin. All he was doing was putting spray paint around them so people wouldn't hit them.
Attorney Stephanie Lape calls the case ridiculous.
Yo, it's Rachel Dolezal. Yo, he's being represented by Rachel Dolezal, the chick who claimed she was black and was white. Look at this chick. His attorney looks like Rachel Dolezal.
Her client, 66-year-old retired Laughlin volunteer firefighter Gregory Stroll, was charged with...
Oh, my God. He was a retired firefighter? So you're telling me they're going to charge. Now I'm in. They got me, guys. I'm in. I need more updates on my boy Gregory. You're telling me a retired volunteer firefighter, not even paid. The guy was doing it just for fun, just to be a good citizen. And then he was trying to be a good citizen to alert people to potholes. You're going to charge him with the crime? And then he was represented by Rachel Dolezal? By the way, I just pulled up Rachel Dolezal. What is Rachel Dolezal doing right now? I'll tell you what she's doing. She's posting things on Instagram like this. She says, "This summer is 9 years since my name hit the news. I have had to reimagine my career since then and love myself enough to thrive. I'm grateful for everyone who has shown up for me, and I can't say enough positive things about some person who's been an amazing coach." Yo, is she an Instagram influencer? This is unbelievable. I gotta share this screen. Rachel Dolezal is now an Instagram influencer. Let's pull this up. You guys see this? If you're watching, yeah, this is her. This is Rachel Dolezal. She's an Instagram influencer. She's wearing the shirt for Scooby Health. She's given love to Scooby Health for helping her discover ways that stress impacted her body and helping her find ways to eat and move that minimize inflammation and support my well-being. Unfucking believable. Rachel Dolezal sitting here with her dreads, still trying to be black, by the way. She got that deep spray tan, got the dreads, holding a weight, still trying to be black. By the way, one of the funniest stories I've ever seen, was the Rachel Dolezal thing. That was an amazing story. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, because you might be like, who the hell is Ruther talking about? She was the chick in 2015 who worked as a professor and also for the NAACP, who the whole time claimed she was black, but she was a white woman. It's the funniest thing ever. She was president of the NAACP chapter in Spokane, Washington from 2014 until June of 2015, when she resigned in the midst of controversy over her racial identity. Dolezal actually released a book in 2017, a memoir on her racial identity called In Full Color, Finding My Place in the Black and White World. So she still identifies as a black woman. I mean, it's the wildest thing ever. Dude, it's the craziest thing ever. I mean, her story is hilarious. It's the most American thing ever. It's the most 20th century, like the 2015s on story ever. It's unbelievable. She claimed her parents were black. She claimed her dad was black. It was all a lie. It's all a lie. And now she's selling you vitamins. I don't know what she's selling now. Only in America can you do that. Can you lie, claim you were black, become a local chapter president of the National Advancement? What does it even stand for? I don't even know. What does it even stand for? The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, a white woman, and was also a professor. She also was an instructor of Africana Studies at Eastern Washington University. Only in America can then it come out that you were doing all that stuff. And then nearly 10 years later, you're hawking vitamin water or some sort of supplement on Instagram with 67,000 followers. Dude, that's why the American dream is not dead. It's really not. A lot of people are down on America. I'm not. Rachel Dolezal is why you're not down on America. She went from being a white woman who tried to act like a black woman, who literally lived the life of a black woman, who identifies as a black woman, to being caught, to then becoming an Instagram influencer. Where else can you do that? You can't do that anywhere but the United States of America. That should literally be a slogan for people running for president. Rachel Dolezal is proof that the American dream is still here and it's still alive. God bless America. All right, what's going on with this news story? Let's get back to this news story.
Mischief after spray painting potholes to warn drivers.
We went ahead and set it for trial in Mayor's
There
Court.
she
That
is,
was the
Rachel
plan. We
Dolezal
planned
is
to
the
go to
attorney.
trial. The day before the trial, I got a call from Lockland, and they told me they were transferring it to the county court.
But now the case is headed to a jury trial in Hamilton County. Today, Labe submitted a written plea of not guilty.
It's still a misdemeanor of the fourth degree, so the penalties don't change. A misdemeanor of the fourth degree carries up to 30 days in jail, or a fine, or probation, or some combination of those.
Okay, so they want to put this guy in jail, possibly a fine for spray painting around potholes. This is also America. Rachel Dolezal is part of America. This is also America. Ridiculous, mundane, and stupid bureaucracy. maybe y'all should be mad in the city of Lockland that he was pointing to the potholes that you're not fixing. Is that what this is all about? Because that's what I think this is about. You're mad that my boy Gregory, who's represented by a woman who identifies as a black woman, who's actually a white woman, you're mad that his lawyer is saying he was just doing the right thing. Let's see what else we got. Is there anything else to this story?
WLWT broke the story back in June. Leib says Mr. Stroll was overwhelmed with the response.
He's happy with the outpouring of support that he's gotten. Since we did the last story, a lot of people have reached out with him and offered their support.
Leib has been contacted by other people who live in Lockland with shared concerns over potholes.
Someone else, apparently, who also lives in Lockland, has been filling them themselves.
Leib says her client...
Whoa, what? Somebody is going out and filling potholes? So this guy is alerting people. Somebody's actually filling the potholes in the city. I'll tell you what they don't do. Those people do not work or own an Airbnb or a VRBO. Because they charge them. They'd probably charge them to do that. I mean, there's some good Samaritans in Lockland here.
Cares about his neighborhood and was just trying to help.
Be careful about taking it into your own hands, or you may end up with criminal charges and legal fees.
And we reached out to Lockland City Administrator, but we did not hear back. Tomorrow, this case will be set for a pretrial date, and then a date for a jury trial will be set after that. Of course, many updates to come. We will follow all of those developments and bring them to you here on WLWT. Here in Lockland, Lindsay Stone, WLWT News.
Okay. Thanks, Lindsay. I might have to go to that trial. Can I go? Can I go? Can I go and hold up a sign, Free Gregory? I don't even know if that's his name. Was that his name? I might have missed it. Free Gregory. Everybody does this hashtag Free Britney. Free Gregory. A volunteer firefighter. They're showing pictures of him with his grandkids. Just a lovely looking man. All he's doing is looking out for the citizens of Lockland, and they're trying to lock him up. Meanwhile, Rachel Dolezal, who has lied her entire life, claiming to be a black woman, is out here hawking pills for some company on Instagram. You tell me where the justice, or I should say injustice, is. Unbelievable. And that's our country, guys. That is USA. That's why I love it. That is why I love it. I do want to go to his trial, though. How funny would that be? Hey, I'm a representative of the Andy Ruther show, and I support you, Gregory. A giant cardboard cutout. It just says hashtag Free Gregory. Brittany will come home from work. What did you do today? I went to some random dude's trial who's being charged with a 4th-degree misdemeanor for alerting people about potholes with spray paint. The look she would give me. I'm just being stupid, guys. That's what I do. All right. That's a good note to wrap the show up on. Again, give me a ring. 859-935-0078. You can email me at the Andy Ruther Show at gmail.com. I am on social media as well. Andy Ruther on all social media. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And you might want to subscribe on YouTube because I got a video dropping on Friday. A fun one. At least I thought it was fun. And get ready. There's going to be a lot more content dropping on the social medias. So go ahead and follow me on those and look out for that. All right, guys. Much appreciation as always. Much love to everybody who listens, watches. Appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Much love.